Hello, so the day in which I'm uploading this is the 2nd of November 2017. Might not mean anything at all to you, might be your birthday, in which case, happy birthday. But today is the release day of a book that I'm very excited to share with you, and it's this one. This is Elizabeth's Rival, The Tumultuous Tale of Lettice Noyes, Countess of Leicester by Nicola Tallis. So let me briefly take you on a journey back in time. So late last year, I received this book from the publisher, which is Crown of Blood, also by Nicola Tallis, The Deadly Inheritance of Lady Jane Grey, which is a full-length biography of Lady Jane Grey. I loved it, I raved about it, I did a review of it, and it featured in my favourite books of that year, 2016. I'll link those videos up there. I love this book so much. If you haven't read it, you need to. And when I knew that she was writing a new one, I was so excited. So Elizabeth's Rival is a full-length biography of Lettice's life. However, it's done with a bit of a difference because it pays the attention and it focuses in particular on Lettice's relationship with Elizabeth. Now, they are actually related. So Elizabeth's parents were Anne Boleyn and Henry VIII, everyone knows that. And Lettice's grandmother was Mary Boleyn, so Anne Boleyn's sister. And it's also possible that Lettice's mother, Catherine, was the daughter of not just Mary Boleyn, but possibly Henry VIII. So Elizabeth and Lettice might even be closer related, but we don't know for sure. As I said, this is a full-length biography of Lettice's life, but it does play the focus on her relationship with Elizabeth. And they are rivals in so many different aspects. They're kind of always fighting to be Queen Bee, and one of their main rivals is a rival in love. So the man stuck in between here, this is Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester, and this was Elizabeth's great love of her life. Personally, I believe if she ever was to marry, this was the man that she would have married. But Lettice has him. Lettice takes him as her second husband, and of course that puts a bit of a big old spanner in the works with her relationship between Elizabeth, and unfortunately it's a bit of a sad story. That's all I'm going to say, because I really don't want to ruin this book for you, other than the fact that I just want to say that I loved it and you need to read this. I love this book so much. For me, what makes this book isn't just the fact that it's a book on Lettice who needs to be explored a bit more, but also the writing style. I find that Nicola has this kind of poetic quality to her writing, which, you know, it's not really found in non-fiction too much, to be honest. It's quite a rare thing. I often think it's almost kind of that fictionalised, magical, poetic, telling a story type of feeling to her writing style. And Nicola has to be one of the very few historians where actually I'm not necessarily just excited for a new book on a particular person or a particular topic. I'm excited for that new book because it's written by her. I love Nicola's writing style that much, that just the sheer idea of her writing a book, I think she could write it on anything and I'd be excited because it's her writing. For me, it feels like Nicola's writing transports us back in time. She's taking us on a time-travelling journey back into the Tudor Elizabethan period, and she's showing us around the Tudor world. She's showing us around the court, the highs and the lows, the laughs and the tears, and it's almost as if we're on a journey with Lettice herself. And I thought what I would do to express how much I love the writing, I will read you a bit from the book. I was trying to figure out which bit I should read you. There were so many bits and bobs that I highlighted. I thought, oh, I'll read this to you, I'll read this to you. And in the end, I thought I'll actually just go for the prologue. So this is the very beginning of the book. Hopefully it'll wet your whistle, dip your toe in the water, and you'll want to go and get the book for yourself and read all about it because it's just fantastic. So here we go. At 7 o'clock in the morning on the 21st of September 1578, a wedding ceremony was conducted within the privacy of a country house in Wanstead. The groom was Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester, favourite and one time suited to Queen Elizabeth. But the monarch was not the bride. Dressed in a loose gown, in a possible indication of pregnancy, the woman who exchanged marital vows with the Earl was the Queen's kinswoman, the widowed 34-year-old Lettice Noyes, then Countess of Essex. With Lettice described by the Spanish ambassador as one of the best-looking ladies in court, and resembling, as she did, Elizabeth in looks, it was little wonder that she had enthralled Leicester. Plans for the couple's marriage had been underway for some time, and prior to the wedding at Wanstead, another ceremony had almost certainly been performed elsewhere. But there was a cloud hanging over the newlyweds' bliss. The wedding was closely guarded secret, and Leicester was determined that it ought to remain that way for as long as possible. The reason? Queen Elizabeth had not given royal consent necessary for such a marriage, and neither was she likely to. Though she would not marry him herself, since the death of Leicester's first wife in 1560, Elizabeth had been fiercely jealous of any woman who had shown any interest in her favourite. They had been close to one another since childhood, so close in fact that it was widely believed that the Queen would marry him, and Leicester had cherished hopes that his suit would come to fruition. But, despite Leicester's determination, just months after the Cladstein ceremony at Wanstead, this secret was out. Elizabeth was incandescent with rage, and Letters was permanently banished from court. The Queen never forgave her cousin for the perceived betrayal, and Letters was to suffer the consequence of Elizabeth's fury for the rest of her life. Though her wedding was the catalyst, it was by no means the only episode for which Letters would earn the Queen's enmity. As time went by, more scenes in the jealous feud between the two women began to unfold. Letters' secret marriage signified a dramatic turning point with her relationship with Elizabeth, and the Queen's attitudes towards her would never be the same again. Letters' long life would see her contend with great scandals, treasonous plots and deep tragedy, all of which Elizabeth would be heavily involved in. Though separated by jealousy, the lives of the two women would remain closely entangled, whether they liked it or not. The morning of the 21st September 1578 was only the beginning. I think this is the most beautiful book. Look at it, it's so stunning. I love the gold kind of foil on it. I love it. I love the portraits here. I think that it's absolutely beautiful book. And like Crown of Blood, I do think that this would make a wonderful present for someone. And if you have someone in mind and you think, oh, so-and-so might like that, but they're not too knowledgeable about Lettice or her family, etc., don't you worry. Because at the beginning of this book, we have family trees, as well as a bit of like a cast of characters of the Tudor show. We even have a timeline in place, so you really can't go wrong. And finally, that just leaves me to say that I hope you enjoyed this review. If you want to learn more about Lettice, Elizabeth, and their relationship with each other and with Robert Dudley, then you need to try and travel back into the Tudor period, and to do that you need to read this book. So if you want to get your hands on a copy of Elizabeth's Rival or her first book, Crown of Blood, they'll both be linked in the description bar below. And also, just for book vanity, they look really nice together on the shelf, just to let you know. So that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know in the comment section down below if this book now sits on your wish list. So take care, and I shall see you soon for the next video. Bye for now. The full-length biography, all about Lettice, but it's done slightly... Ooh.
So, how much money would the couple need to get this house finished to the high standard?
Scared the crap out of me.